Went ahead and grabbed myself a new Gates thermostat just because it was very reasonably priced on the old eBay. Dropped it down in there already. So now I've just gotta pop this back on and get the wiring hooked back up to it, and it'll be ready to go. Came with this neat, like, 3D-ish, like, hard sticker thing. Kinda neat. So, yeah, we'll go from there. Go ahead and finish getting that installed, and I can get the hose hooked back up to it. And then we just wait for the radiator and radiator cap and radiator stay bracket. But I don't really need that. I just bought a nice little aluminum one because it looks fancy. Alright, thermostat's back in. Pipes reconnected. So, spark plugs, wires, thermostat. Just need radiator and radiator cap. And some fresh coolant and distilled water blend. Honda OEM or the red blend. Don't want the green? Never green. Green only in the worst of pinches. But like, you don't want to leave it in there. Green can damage some aluminum radiators. Some of them just aren't made out of the right blend of metals, and the chemical composition messes with it. It's all weird. So, always red. Green only in the most dire of situations. So, I finally won, folks. Locking lug number 1 off. It was very unpleasant, but this locking lug emergency removal tool finally did the trick. So now I just need to get that old bastard out of there, but that's okay. We'll get there. Working on trying to sand down these seat rails so that I can get them treated. I've already worked on this one a little bit, so it's fairly decent so far. I've just hit it with a wire brush, so still needs some work, but this one's far worse. So, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. Had a couple more little bits come in. Radiator stay bracket, just because this one's purple and fancy looking and the other one's not. That's not as important as radiator cap. So yeah, we will roll it here. Still need, I believe my radiator should be coming in tomorrow. And then that should finish off everything I need. I've got the thermostat in already. I've got my radiator cap. So, once the radiator comes in, we should be able to put gas coolant in it and see if we can't get it started and go from there. Bleed the coolant and see if she still wants to overheat. Hopefully not. But I'm still guessing there's probably a blown head gasket in there. But we'll get to that when we get to that. New radiator finally arrived. So we'll go ahead and get this bad boy opened up here and check it out. Thank you, Gerber, for making some of the best knives I've ever used. Well, and there we have it. Should be just about ready to fly here. Just gotta put a couple things back on it and get it filled back up with coolant and distilled water mix, which I need to go get some distilled water. So for now, we'll just go ahead and get this installed and not worry about getting it filled up for the moment. Well, either in my stupidity or eBay's lack of actually telling me correctly what the part actually fits, that guy's got a big old gap on him. That's 1 1/8, and it should be 1 1/4. I wondered why there were lines for the automatic transmission on the bottom. I don't need them because this only comes in a manual. So there shouldn't be those little ports on the bottom. That should have been my first sign. But here I am. So I guess we're lucky we bought it from a eBay seller that has free returns. And maybe I can just pay the difference to them and have them ship me out a new one. So yeah, that sucks. That's a mild setback, but we'll get over it. Grabbed this nice little ditty so people will know that this ain't just a regular Del Sol, it's a VTEC, since they're kind of rare and they didn't come with any badging of any sort, so this is what it's getting on it. So I decided to just say to heck with it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just do the head gasket. I'm not gonna worry about pulling it out and washing it first. It's blown either way, and I'm gonna have to drain all the coolant and oil out of it anyway. So yeah, no, we're just gonna go ahead and start doing a tear down on it and get this figured out. Get this solved, get it running again, so it'll be fun again. Got the valve cover off, and I believe this is a cork, maybe felt. I don't know. It's a weird valve cover gasket. I think it's cork. I don't know. It looks gross though. So, in here looks okay. There's some water and oil up here too, so we'll have to clean all this out, but that's okay. We will get there when we get there. Now at this point I've got it down to exhaust manifolds off, distributors off, so slowly getting things worked off of it here one at a time. I do need to drain the oil out of it. The oil I stuck in there was just to flush it, so I'll need to get to that probably tomorrow, later in the week, but for now I'm just taking stuff off the top end that won't leak oil. But surprisingly clean inside, but the engine's been opened a couple of times, so that doesn't actually surprise me. So last night we left off, I pulled the valve cover gasket, got the distributor off, pulled the exhaust manifold at least out and away from it for the time. I've gone ahead and pulled all of the fuel injector wires. Gonna get all the hoses and things off of here, just so that way we can keep kind of moving along. I'm trying to eventually get the intake manifold off and out of the way, but one step at a time, one step at a time. Sexy new aluminum radiator that should actually fit on my pipes here, wherever I set that. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. This bad boy Should be able to just hunk. Yeah, right on there, baby. That's gonna be beautiful. Gorgeous. Simply gorgeous. So, now that we got that figured out, we'll be ready once the head gasket's fixed. Well, finally, after a wee bit of fighting, we managed to remove the intake manifold, which desperately needs a new gasket. But, slowly but surely, one thing at a time here. Got most of the main components off of here now. I do need to come over here and do the timing case cover and keep moving on from there, but progress.